Hi friends, welcome back to Keystone IAS Academy for daily newspaper analysis. So today, let's start with a problem that's been growing quietly for years, India's cereal mess. So India is facing a structural imbalance in its food grain system, huge surplus of rice, declining wheat stocks, massive imports of oil seeds and pulses, and a 2 lakh crore subsidy burden. So recent paddy procurement controversies in Tamil Nadu highlight deeper systematic flaws in procurement, production patterns and policy incentives. So in the topic நேரடியா GS paper 3 agriculture, food security, PDS, MSP இந்த topics கீழ டைரக்ட்டா வந்துரும். So GS paper 3 agriculture. Here is the practice question, here is the previous year questions for food security, production, hunger index இதெல்லாத்துலயும் நேரடியாவே questions already வந்திருக்கு. So நீங்க இங்க பார்க்கலாம். Here related to Food Security Act, and this is one mains question related to Food Security Bill which was asked in 2013. So please understand the question. எப்படி இந்த question frame பண்ணிருக்காங்க இந்த topicல இருந்து understand பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Coming to the article, என்ன சொல்லிருக்காங்கன்னா, you might have seen the recent controversy in Tamil Nadu over paddy procurement. So delays, corruption, allegations, extra land under paddy. But honestly, this is not a Tamil Nadu specific issue. It's a national pattern. So here's the big picture. India is overflowing with the rice literally. As of October 2025, we have 356 lakh tons of rice in stock. But the officially record buffer, how much is? Just 102 lakh tons. So we are sitting on more than 3 times what we need. So why this glut is there? Because paddy is the safest bet for farmers. How? Assured MSP, assured procurement. So all this will lead to almost zero risk for farmers. So naturally, farmers keep growing more and more paddy. But now look at the contradiction. India is importing 1.2 lakh crore worth of edible oil and 30,000 crore of pulses every year. So we are the world's largest producer of pulses, yet we still import. Oilseed production has barely grown in a decade. So we have too much rice and too little pulses and oilseeds. This is a structural imbalance is what the article argues. Yes, there's another problem. What is the another problem is PDS leakages. The public distribution system leakage is also there. So a study estimated almost 28% leakage of rice and wheat being distributed. Okay. So what the article says? It's time to rethink procurement, storage, MSP and crop choices. Farmers need support for crop diversification, market assurance and better linkages like FPO, SHG and direct tie-ups with the buyers. So all these things are the immediate need. Coming to the practice question, India is witnessing a structural imbalance in its food grain economy with excess rice stocks on one hand and high dependence on import of pulses and edible oils on the other. Examine the reasons for this imbalance and suggest a sustainable policy roadmap for procurement and crop diversification. So what is the first issue? Structural imbalance. In an imbalance in this rice we have 3 times. The data you can quote here. So 3 times more than what we have, what we have அப்படிங்கிறது what we want இதுல 3 times more than நம்ம buffer வச்சிருக்கோம். But pulses we are the largest producer, still we are importing pulses and edible oils. So in the imbalance தான் இந்த structural imbalance. So what are the reason for this imbalance? Why paddy is very assured MSP, assured procurement there is almost risks of paddy creeps, farmers keep growing paddy more. And what is the policy roadmap? Already as I discussed, we have to rethink about crop diversification, market assurance, better linkages with FPO, SHG, all those things we have to do for farmers so that this structural imbalance will taken care of. So this is the answer. This is a direct question from the article. So you can just write and practice it, then post in the Telegram group for review. Let's move to the next article. What is that? World Happiness Report 2025. Finland is number 1 again. 8th year, means 8th consecutive year in a row. India is at rank 118, scoring 4.38 out of 10. Pakistan is at 109. So naturally people ask, How is Pakistan happier than India? Right. So that is what the article argues. Why India is at 118 is the points which are discussed in the article. So here you can see the context. What are the key questions have been asked? Why do economically advanced or fast growing democracies rank low? So why do less stable economies rank above them? Are the metrics flawed? What does happiness actually measure? Economic well-being, prospections or social trust, what is that? So all these things we are going to discuss in this article. So this article comes under GS paper 3 Indian economy. Coming to the article, to understand how India's rank is measured, we need to know the metric first. The index is based on the Cantrell ladder. You can see uses it Gallup's Cantrell ladder. It is just a measurement scale which uses to measure the life. Okay, measure life on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 to 10. So what are the parameters which we are used? Score depends on things like GDP, social support, life expectancy, freedom, corruption perception, generosity, all those things. Okay, but here's the key idea is happiness is a perception, not an economic fact. Okay, it's a perception. So these perceptions are slippery and influenced by expectations. That is what the article is mainly arguing. See, India is a democracy with huge aspirations, huge expectations. So people complain more, demand more, question more or so. Perception scores always fail in India. Even the US has dropped to rank 24 despite being rich. So the article itself admits social trust and community kindness predict happiness more than income. So Nordic countries have extremely high trust. People believe if they drop a wallet, someone will return it. In India, trust is mixed. Institutional trust is lower, but family and community trust are strong. But global indices don't measure that. So what will happen? Overall, the article says India needs something called empathy infrastructure. Yes, India called empathy infrastructure. What is that? We have stronger community spaces. We have to build better public service delivery and more mental health initiatives. So India's low rank doesn't mean Indians are unhappy. It means Indians expect more. These expectations cannot score well in the that ladder, well in the Cantrell ladder. So that is what the article argues. Another is saying. So India is not unhappy. What happened is Indians expect more because of these expectations, all these speculations have happened, and we are developing ambitious and self-critical. So these are the major points which we have to note from this article. So let's come to the practice question. The World Happiness Report 2025 places India at 118 and Finland at the top of 8th consecutive year. Top for the 8th consecutive year. Critically analyze the limitations of global happiness rankings and explain what India must prioritize to improve real well-being rather than merely its rank. Okay, this is what the question is. So again the question says we have to mention who develops this World Happiness Report 2025 and how it is, what are the parameters included, and India's rank. Then Finland is the top for 8th consecutive year. You have to mention that. Then you have to analyze the limitations. Why this limitation? Why India is ranked very low? As we already discussed, prospection, expectation and perceptions score very low because these are fluctuating. Okay, and explain what India must prioritize. See, India is a democracy which is developing. So India must prioritize. What are the things we have to prioritize? As I already said, it's a empathy infrastructure is a word mentioned here. This you can use in the mains answer also. Empathy infrastructure. What are the points you have to write? Stronger community spaces, better public service delivery, and more mental health initiatives. So all these points we can make it to write as the steps we can make to improve the real well-being. So that is what the answer here. So you can write it down and post them in our Telegram group. The next article, final article, let's talk about the 16th Finance Commission which just submitted its report. So most people think FC reports are just about center-state tax sharing. But the 16th FC has bigger another responsibility, recommending how to strengthen panchayats and municipalities. So this is what the article argues. Here you can see the context. FC submitted its reports recently, and what is the significant? Because the FC will decide vertical devolution, it will decide a horizontal devolution, how states share, and crucially, it must recommend ways to strengthen panchayats and municipalities under Article 280. So the article examines what the 73rd and 74th amendments mandate, why state FCs have failed, why Union Finance Commission have not transformed local finances, why expectations from the 16th FC are high. So these are the points which are going to discuss in the article. Then this article directly comes under GS paper 2, Indian polity, local governance, and State Finance Commission as a constitutional or regulatory body. Coming to the analysis. See, local bodies handle basic needs, water, sanitation, roads, health, etc. So, but they are always short of money. Why? Because states give them responsibilities but not revenues, is what the article says. The 73rd and 74th amendment list subjects for panchayats and municipalities. For panchayats it is 29, for municipalities it is 18 subjects. But these lists are only illustrative. States can assign anything, anytime without giving funds or staff. This is what the article argues. So State Finance Commission were created to fix this. But almost no state implements their recommendations seriously. So what is the role of State Finance Commission here? It must be set up every 5 years. Okay. So local bodies, so what happens? So local bodies that depend on Union Finance Commissions. But here's the problem. Past FCs have not properly estimated the actual money local bodies need. They simply gave lump sum grants. The 13th FC tried to reform this by giving local bodies a share of the divisive pool, but the 14th and 15th FC reversed it again. So even worse, every FC created different performance-based conditions. So what happened? States couldn't meet most of them. So the article hopes the 16th FC has gone deeper, assessing finances for 2.7 lakh panchayats and 5,000 municipalities, and hopefully creating a stable, predictable funding framework. So here is the practice question. You can read and answer the same thing. Yeah, before we wrap up, a quick announcement for all UPSC aspirants. Our free prelims test series is now open for registration. You will get full-length GS papers, CSAT practice test, previous year pattern questions, and detailed explanations. It's completely free. Only registration fee is just 50 rupees. So make sure you take advantage and start testing yourself regularly. So that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Thank you.